What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Maximize Your Brand podcast. It is your host, Markeith Brayton here. So excited to be back doing interviews and sharing more information on how you can create a life of freedom and take your life back from the rat race of the 9 to 5 and create a brand that pays you. And this week, we're going to have a guest who is going to be talking about a program called Paid for Your Say. You know, we live in a time where there are many financial struggles going on in the country, in households, and many people are looking for opportunities to make extra money for their household. You know, many individuals have been laid off over the past few months here in the United States, government shutdowns, and all of the various things that are impacting people's pockets. And we're going into the holiday season, and this is a great time just to talk about side hustles and opportunities where you can create more income for your household and free up more of your time. And so my guest today is Miss Kimberly Jones. She's the founder of Paid for Your Say, a platform dedicated to helping everyday people earn real income through focus groups, mock trials, and mystery shopping. Kimberly brings a deep understanding of how to navigate complex systems while maximizing opportunity. Her passion for side hustles and multiple streams of income began over 35 years ago, and in this time, she has mastered the art of turning flexible, creative gigs into meaningful financial reward. And so this is going to be an exciting episode. And so take out your pen and paper. There are also going to be opportunities for you to learn more about the program. And the great thing about it is very affordable when it comes to courses, because believe me, I've paid for some courses and they have been nowhere close to being as affordable as this course. So you're in for a treat. So let's go ahead and welcome our guest, Miss Kimberly Jones. Thank you for joining me on the Maximize Your Brand podcast. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited to talk about this.
Awesome. Well, I always give a brief bio of my guests, but I like for my guests to tell us a little bit more about themselves. You know, where are you from? How did you get started into this space of Paid for Your Say and all the side hustle business? So take it away.
Sure. So I'm actually from a small town, Wilberforce, Ohio. I lived there until I was 23, and then I moved to Atlanta. And I started in the mortgage industry immediately when I got here. And about a year after being here, I did my first focus group, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay. I loved it. About 2 years later, I got married. I had my first child, and I knew then that I didn't want to continue to work a 9 to 5. I wanted to stay on with my child. So one of the first things I did was I started a gift basket business. It was more of a hobby, really wasn't making much money. I had a couple more focus groups here and there. And then when I was pregnant with my second child, I knew I definitely was not going back to work. And at that point, I had probably done 5 or 6 focus groups. But at that point, I really didn't know that I could really do this on a consistent basis. So at that point, I started researching it a little bit more. And that's really what started my journey.
Yeah, that sounds great. You know, we all are in positions sometimes where we're looking to make extra money, especially I know mothers who want to have more time with their kids and be at home a little bit more and not out the house as much. And I mean, I don't have any children, but I've even heard that sometimes it's even cheaper for a mother to stay home who's married because daycare, you know, can be
Absolutely.
very expensive. So I think this is a great time to have this conversation about your program. And so, you know, for somebody who is not familiar with mock trials or focus groups, talk to us a little bit more about, you know, what is a mock trial? What is a focus group?
So a mock trial is when an attorney is testing their case. They're real cases, real attorneys. They're civil cases that they're testing before they go to trial. So they'll put together usually 10 to 14 participants, and they'll talk about the case. The attorney presents it, and they really just want your feedback. They're really exciting. Most of them are by Zoom, so you don't even have to leave your home. I believe you've done one of those. They're very interesting. And then there's some also that you can actually go somewhere and participate in person. But those are my personal favorites. They don't pay the best. I mean, they still pay well, but those are my favorites. Focus groups could be on anything. And that's when a company is really testing out a new product or a new service, anything they're bringing to market that they need to test before they put it on the market. And those can be done remotely for the most part. Also, if you live near a big city, sometimes you can go in person. But if you don't want to leave your home, you don't have to, because now, especially since the pandemic, you can do them by Zoom. So
Yeah.
it's a really great way to make extra money.
Yeah. And that's good. I have participated in mock trial. It was really, really fun. I think we were on for maybe 2 or 3 hours. And it was a great opportunity to kind of hear other points of views and to participate in something that was really needed. This particular law firm really needed to hear from individuals. And so why are companies interested in paying people to participate in these types of programs or situations where they are, paying for people's responses and their knowledge?
I mean, they're willing to pay everyday people for their opinions because they don't want to make a really big mistake. I know, I think it was in the 90s, Coke made a very big mistake when they came out with new Coke. It just did not go well. So they really want to test it across their target market to see if it's something that people are actually going to buy. So in the long run, it costs a lot of money, but it's going to cost them even more if they come out with something that no one's going to want to buy.
Yeah. Because companies are always interested in, before they're putting it out to the customer, is the customer going to like it? Is the customer going to enjoy this particular experience? And so it's important that these companies get that feedback, and pretty much they know that nobody wants to do it for free.
Right. Exactly.
And so what are some of the stories of why people have enrolled in the program, as far as when it comes to participating in these types of mock trials or focus groups? Why have people decided that this is a great opportunity for them to participate?
I think one of the biggest things is having their voice be heard. I mean, you're literally paid for your opinion. As you mentioned, it's not very expensive, so there's a very low barrier to entry, and you have a lot of flexibility over your time. It's not like a part-time job where you have to clock in and out. You really can arrange this around your schedule. So it's something that people have found not only fun, but a great way to earn extra money.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your very first focus group and how that went, and how much did you make on that particular group?
I remember it very well. It was in 1990. I still do focus groups for that company, actually. And that was back when you used to read the newspaper, the physical newspaper. And I was looking for part-time work, extra income, and I found in the classified ads that they were looking for women to talk about pantyhose. So at that time, you had to call into the company, answer a series of questions. If you looked like you were a good fit, they invited you. So I got invited to this particular group. It was 8 women, and we just sat around a conference table for an hour and answered different questions about pantyhose. And they paid us $40 in cash at the end of the session. So $40 for an hour in 1990 was really good money. I mean, it's good money now. So I was hooked from there. But I thought at that time it was just a fluke, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. $40 for an hour. I mean, there's some people don't make $40 an hour, right?
Exactly. It was great.
And so on average today in 2025, what are the potential incomes that people can make participating in these types of opportunities?
So for focus groups, it's about 75 to 150 for an hour. And again, they're usually by Zoom. So that's great money for not having to leave your home. I believe the most I've made by Zoom, it was $350 for 45 minutes. And, that one was a little bit more specific to my occupation, but, depending on what the subject is, or if you have a specialty or some type of expertise, they do pay you more. So about 75 to 150 for an hour.
Okay. Now, are there particular favorite types of focus groups that you like that may pay a little bit more or just might be more interesting?
The mock trials. I still do mock trials. I actually staff for a couple of attorneys, but I still do mock trials because I find them they're very interesting. Sometimes you hear about in the news how the case ended up, but I'm fascinated with the law, so I really enjoy doing the mock trials, and it's interesting to see how other people think. You
Yeah.
really get to see how other people think when you're on a mock trial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, if I'm interested in learning more about this or how to get involved, I know that you created a course for it, and so share a little bit more around, why create the course, or yes, why create the course versus, just telling people, hey, you can just sign up for these trials and potentially get paid. How does the course help a person?
Well, I actually tried that for many, many years. I was sharing it with my friends and family. It was very time consuming.
Hmm.
I was calling people, I was texting people, telling them about these groups and who to call. And it was taking a lot of my time. I didn't mind it because people were able to participate. But actually, one of my kids, or both of them at one point, as teenagers, were like, you're spending so much time telling people about this. Are they at least paying you something? I'm like, no, people need money. I don't want anything. And so they're like, no, you should put it in a course in a
Yeah.
centralized area. So that was great advice from both of them, and both of them help me now with the business. So in late 2019, I actually created the course, and it just has made things so much easier. And of course, I can expand my reach this way as well.
Yeah. And I can imagine you said you created in 2019. So 2020 pandemic hit and people were at home all the time, right? So I'm sure the
And really
business.
what happened is, I didn't mean to cut you off. I put it up at the very end of 2019. I didn't know anything with it. I just been downsized from my corporate job in July.
Mm,
And so I put the course up. I didn't do anything. I was selling to a few friends, and I really wasn't marketing the course at all. And then I think it was June of 2020, a friend of mine who's an influencer, I had been telling him about it for years and kind of putting him on. He's an influencer, and he mentioned it on his YouTube live, and it has been going really, really strong for 5 years now. So it's
wow.
just kind of it's gained a lot of momentum that way. It's kind of gone from one influencer to the next. So I really have not done much or any marketing at all, really, at this point. So looking for other ways to market and reach people at this point.
So share a few highlights of the course, like how does it help individuals really start to learn about focus groups and mock trials and kind of help them to start getting into that pipeline of earning some money doing these type of things?
I would say probably 90% of the people have never heard of a mock trial or a focus group for that matter, or just don't really know what they are. So in
Yeah.
the course, I have video modules where I explain that step by step. We also talk about mystery shopping and mock trials. I have a list of, it's probably close to 100 companies to sign up with. These are all companies that I have worked with over the past 30 something years. So, these are legitimate companies. And
Mhm.
then one of the great parts of the course is I have a Discord chat. There's thousands of people in there. They're all doing the same thing. They're filling out screeners. They're getting into focus groups. They're answering questions. If you ever just want to go there and apply for a lot of groups, you can do it straight from that chat. So, the power of networking and just some of the connections that I've made with recruiters and attorneys over the past 3 decades has really been what's powered the course.
Yeah. And I bought the course, I think in 2024 or late 2023, I think is when I bought the course. And
Oh
I think
wow.
if you're a freelancer, entrepreneur similar to me, I think it's a great opportunity because it's just another stream of income that you can kind of add to your business or to your freelancing. There's no guarantee that you get in every time, but if you kind of have a systematic approach to applying and filling out the various surveys to be in the trial, it could definitely be, I like to say, it could definitely be my trip money for the year,
Yes.
that I
Yes.
put
A lot of
aside, don't
people.
spend, just every time I do a trial, put it in that particular account. And when a trip comes up or something I want to do,
Mhm.
that could be the fun account. And there are some people that you have in the course that are making full-time incomes from it as well.
Yes, I have a couple people that I know that live in California that do this full time. They are working hard, but they're making a lot of money and they're having a good time doing it. I mean, I've had mothers that are now able to stay home with their kids. I
Mm-hmm.
have a lady that paid off her car, a down payment on their house. Like you said, a lot of people use it just as their fun money or their trip money, but you can also use it, of course, to pay off bills. So,
Right.
I mean, I just think it's a great thing. It's a well hidden secret that I'm still passionate about for over 30 something years because it's just really, really interesting and it's recession proof.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
During the pandemic, people were making a lot of money, and that's really when it went online too. So,
Okay.
when I started out in the early '90s, I had to drive there, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Atlanta, so all that traffic, it was a lot, and I still was doing fairly well. But once it became online, there's so many more opportunities now to participate. It's really great.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent with it.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
thing.
true. Because I know I got inconsistent with it, and I think I did a coaching call with you, like, hey, how do I really get into these situations? Because and one of the things is just have to be consistent, and consistent could mean at least applying to 5 a day. When you get up every morning or afternoon, 5 a day, and that at least gets you in the rhythm of filling out the surveys. Because typically, how long does it take to fill out a survey to participate?
I mean, it depends. Some of them are 2 minutes. Some might
Mm-hmm.
be 5 minutes. I mean, I advise people to do 5 to 10 a day, like you're saying, and create it treat it like a second job.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of my morning routine and has been for decades. When I get up, I fill out screeners. So I think the more consistent you are, I also suggest setting a goal for yourself. Because if you're just kind of filling them out, you're not consistent. You don't really have any type of goal or amount of money you want to make, I think you don't perform as well.
Right, right, right. So, how am I going to know where to fill out these surveys, and how am I going to know about all these companies?
So we make it easy. Like I said, there's probably about 100 companies in there. So once you get into the database of all those companies, you'll start getting emails. You'll be flooded with emails with
Mm-hmm.
screeners for different groups that you can fill out. Or I show you how to search for them on Craigslist. And in our Discord chat, it's really where you really could do everything there if you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
and just go there and fill out screeners to your heart's content.
Yeah, I know. I get an email every day. I get emails every day for screeners and surveys to fill out to participate in. So I know for a fact that there's plenty of opportunity for you to participate in these opportunities. And so when it comes to companies and the different opportunities that exist to get paid for your say, are there any red flags? Are all companies, what's the saying, created
Created
equal?
equal. Well, I will say if you stick to what's on my list,
Okay.
you can't go wrong. I know these are legitimate companies, but if you go out on your own and they ever ask you for your social security number or your banking information, those are red flags. They should never ask you
Hmm.
for those things to participate in the focus group, unless if you've reached a certain amount of money with one company, they will 1099 you. And I will say it's not very many of them that will do that, but there are a couple that will 1099 you. And so at that point, you'd give your social security number, but not in the beginning. You should never be giving that or your banking information.
That's a great statement that you made. And so, is this considered income IRS wise?
I will say, on average, I'm taxed on about 1/2 of 1%. Because we'll talk about how you're paid. You're
Mm-hmm.
typically now it's going to be by PayPal, but the majority is electronic gift card, Visa or MasterCard. Sometimes they're store gift cards. So I'm not sure if that's why they don't 1099 you, but the vast majority never sends you anything. So for the most part, it is tax free.
Yeah.
But you can also have write offs
Especially,
if you are.
especially if they're giving you sending you gift cards. Yeah.
Yes.
I,
And people get really creative with those gift cards. Like some
yeah.
have figured out how to transfer it to their PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Some just pay their bills with it, or you can add it to your digital wallet. So there's lots of
Right.
things you can do with them.
And I love the Amazon ones because I'm always on Amazon.
Yes. And there are a couple of them in there. They only pay you by Amazon, but like you said, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'm on Amazon all the time. So that works just fine for me.
Nice, nice. And so let's talk about, let's say I enroll into the program. What are those daily habits that someone needs to, adopt in order to be successful with something like Pay for Your Stay?
I'd say one of the biggest things is being organized, having good time management. They look for people that are creative and critical thinkers. That's going to come in when you're doing these focus groups, because a lot of times the moderators will ask you the exact same question, but they'll just tweak it a little bit. They're kind of looking for you, hopefully, to give them a different answer. They're trying to get as much information as they can. So they look for people that can think fast on their feet. You need to be organized, because once you get on a roll with these, you'll start booking a lot of them. You don't want to double book yourself. So, just great life skills is being detail oriented, having great time management, great organizational skills. Of course, they look for people that express themselves well. It's really good for people like that don't like this. Like, I don't like speaking in front of groups. I really don't like speaking in front of groups. And a lot of people kind of have that fear. So I think that it helps people, even on a Zoom, just to be able to speak in front of a group of people. So that's been one of the things that some of the members have really been able to come out of their shell. And they've also used some of this money to fund their own businesses too. I should have added that on the income part. But there's so many benefits to this. Too many.
And I say, treat it like a business, like any other type of business. This could be, like I said, this could be your small business. That this is what you do on the side of your full-time job. You have this small business where you do mock trials, focus groups, and create extra income that way for trips, for bills, for daycare, whatever it is that you feel like you want to use that money for.
So I have a couple that purchased about 3 months ago. They have a newborn, and they wanted to make, I think it was an extra $2,000 a month for childcare. And with the two of them doing this, they're making more than that a month for that. So it's been really, really great for them. I mean, everybody needs extra money for something.
Yeah. And so as you're listening to us just talk about Pay for Your Stay, if you're interested in learning more about the program, all you have to do is comment PAID, PAID, comment PAID, and you'll receive the link to learn more about Pay for Your Stay. And right now, I think it's is it $225?
Yes, it's $225.
$225.
But I believe with your link, is it $225 with your link? Yes. So $225, which when you think about it, I mean, I'm in Atlanta. My husband and I, we've spent that on a night out, unfortunately, on many occasions. So 1 or 2 nights out, you're going to spend that amount of money. You're spending that one time. It's a one-time fee. And you literally will make that money thousands of times over. So, it's really
lifetime
not a big
access
investment
to the course.
Yes, lifetime access.
And then you also have a Discord group, I think, with that as well.
Yes, the Discord link will be in the course. Once you sign up, you'll get a welcome email that's automated, and it'll really tell you what your next steps are. So we try to keep it simple or keep you on track along the way. Once you get in the Discord chat, we have a couple of admins there that are really, really helpful if you have questions. Plus, there's other members that will help you along the way too. So there's lots of guidance and support in that chat.
And so those people who are saying, I don't know if my opinion matters, I feel a little unqualified, what would you say to them?
As long as you have a laptop or desktop with a webcam, an internet connection, and an opinion, you're qualified. I mean, there really are no right or wrong answers. They just want your opinion. Like, for example, we just got one of those refrigerators with the hub on the, where you can make your list, you can watch TV, all those things. I did a focus group for that about 17 years ago.
Wow.
And it was that exact thing. So it's so exciting because I remember some of the things that I was saying in that group, and some of those things are now in that refrigerator too. So it's exciting too, to see, when you had a group about a commercial or television ad, or, making a change to a product. And then when it comes to market, seeing, if your input mattered.
Yeah.
If it didn't matter, you still got paid.
Yeah. So for $225, let me tell you, it won't take that many focus groups to make your money back, and then you're straight profit from there.
Straight profit. And we also have afterpay, buy now, pay later. So they'll break that up into 4 payments. So it's really, really affordable. And like you said, you're going to make that back in 1 or 2 focus groups. And at that point, like you said, it's pure profit from there.
Right. And then one of the things I actually liked about the program too was just the ability to schedule that coaching call, right? felt like I, wasn't really moving the way that I should have been moving. And so I could schedule a coaching call, and you're always in the Discord as well, sharing opportunities and things like that.
Yes.
And so for 225, I'm a coach. You wouldn't get access to me.
And I want to know, have you implemented some of those things we talked about?
Right. And so this is good. I think that the timing for this is great, and just want to be able to share this with my listening audience and share this on social media, because, I always tell those who I'm coaching and individuals who follow me about maximizing their brand and monetizing your expertise, monetizing your message, monetizing your opinion. That's what Paid for Your Say is. Yeah. You're monetizing your opinion, and you're able to create another stream of income inexpensively. Because really you're spending more of your time than you are spending money in this situation, because it's not that expensive. It's a very affordable course. And so what are some parting words you would say to that individual who still might be on the fence, or who is really looking for that extra income?
I mean, I'll just say, if you're on the fence, there's just, like you said, there's no better time to invest in yourself. Take a chance on yourself. It's not that much money. And if you put in the work, I promise you'll see the results. You just have to be consistent and patient as well. We do have some people that think, you're going to sign up, you're going to make money in 24 hours. That's not really how it happens. Like anything else, it takes a little time. But once you start booking them, you can keep yourself going and get into a rhythm. So, yeah, if not now, when?
If not now, when? So if you're interested, all you have to do is type in the comments PAID, PAID, to get more information around the program so that you can learn more about Paid for Your Say. This is a great Christmas gift that you can get a family member or a young person. Is there an age requirement?
I mean, my teens were doing it when they were like 13 and 14. There are some for under 18, but I would say 18 and up. And like you said, it is a great gift, especially for college students. I have a lot of parents that have purchased this for their college students so they can kind of stay out of their pockets and they don't have to work a part-time job. So, and then I have people in their 40s and 50s that are doing this and, supplementing their income, helping their kids. I mean, I think it's great for everyone, because there's just so many inherent benefits other than just making money.
Yeah. Great. Well, how can people follow you, learn more about you and all the things that you're doing? What are your social channels?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Paid for Your Say. You can email me at support@paidforyoursay, and I will answer any questions you have. You can go to our website, paidforyoursay.com, and to learn more about the program.
Awesome. Well, you heard it right here. Paid for Your Say. Comment PAID to learn more about the program. This is a great time for you to invest in yourself, invest in a loved one, a child who could use some extra money. Maybe you've been laid off or you're looking for opportunity because you have a little bit more time to put time into something that can bring you some income. This may be your sign that this is an opportunity that's inexpensive, that you can invest in yourself, that you will have lifetime access to create extra income and monetize your opinion. I'm always excited bringing you exciting guests, exciting opportunities that will help you to maximize your brand and create income that will give you more freedom in your life. And I'm always excited that you take the time out to listen to the podcast. So until next week, just remember this: always shoot for the top, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. Take care.